Hello, I'm Batman, and this is my day. My day. No one else's day. Superman doesn't have a day, but I do. I'm Batman, and to celebrate, my friend Dylan is going to do a new episode of The Comic Call. Dun, dun, dun. Hey, everybody. Thank you for that, Batman. And happy Batman Day to you as well. Hello out there, everybody. I am Dylan, and welcome to a new episode of The Comic Call. This is week 17, July 23rd. Probably be the last one you're going to see for a few weeks because I am on vacation next week, unless I can find a comic store in the Virginia Beach area. And if I decide I want to go buy comics, and if I decide I want to do a show, we'll see. But as of now, I will not be doing a show next week. We'll see. A Comic Call show anyway. I might be doing one of my other shows, Dylan Knows, which I do every Sunday at 12:30. Once again, depends on the Wi-Fi at the beach house that I will be at with my family. So we shall see. So vacation should be nice. So you'll get a vacation from me as well. But for now, we do not have a vacation. We have a show to do, and this is The Comic Call. Dun, dun, dun. As Batman said earlier, this is Batman Day. I actually did not know it was Batman Day until I was reading my Twitter feed this afternoon. And apparently, I guess it is. I really missed out on a lot of stuff. And then I looked at the list of all the stuff that was coming out today in the comic stores, and it was very Batman heavy. So that should have been my first inkling that something was going on. But we'll get into that in a second. For those who don't know, the Comic Call is my other show. I try to do it every Wednesday. Could be every other Wednesday, could be a Friday, depending on financial stuff, where I just basically talk about what comics that I bought this week, and to also try to convince you guys to go out to your local comic store as well and get one and get them for yourself, to show you what is out there and see what you might like. So, without further ado, this is the Comic Call. As always, I start with DC, then Marvel, then Independents. Independents include Dark Horse, IDW, Boom, Image, Dynamite, and a few others that I haven't mentioned yet. But here we go. DC. It is Batman week, but we're going to get to Batman in a second. But first, there are some non-Batman books that came out. First up is a book that has been blowing me away. I've caught up on it. I love the story. I love the artwork, and I talk about it all the time, and I think everybody should go pick this up as well. Flash number 33. Robert Venditti, Van Jensen, Brett Booth, Norm Rapmud are killing it with the new version of the Flash, or their version of the Flash. So really excited about it. It's been a fantastic story, great artwork. And I highly recommend, if you're a fan of The Flash, to pick it up. The Flash will be getting his own TV show this fall. You might want to check it out for yourself as well. And it's this good stuff. It's a dual storyline going on. It follows present-day Flash and also a future Flash from 5 years in the future, which is going to play a big part later on. DC is doing a weekly series called Future's End, which takes place 5 years in the future as well, so something big is going to be happening, and the Flash is in the forefront of that as well. So I highly recommend checking out. This is the 5th issue of the new series. It was 31 annual, 32, 33, maybe it's the 4th. Can't remember, but regardless, it reintroduced Wally West into the Flash universe, but he's not your typical Wally West. This Wally West is a young black kid. That's it right there. So he's Wally West, and he's a very interesting character so far. Not annoying. I kind of like him. So The Flash, number 33, pick it up, definitely. I've been reading it religiously since the new creative team's been on it, so I'm caught up on it. It's a great story. I highly recommend check it out. Next up is Red Lanterns, number 33. Absolutely gorgeous cover. I guess I'm assuming it was drawn by Alessandro Vivi, who did the artwork as well inside. This was written by Charles Soule, and I believe it's Alessandro Vivi did the artwork. Yep, and it's looking pretty gorgeous. Yeah, Charles Soule's doing a really good job with the Red Lanterns and making them their own team as well. Guy Gardner is the leader of them, and looks like that's going to be changing really soon, the next big storyline. So it's some pretty interesting stuff. There's Dexter, I love. So Earth Kitty, who's a Red Lantern. So Guy Gardner and John Stewart in a bar fight. That's pretty awesome. So check this out. Charles Soule's doing a really good job, and the artwork by Alessandro Vitti is fantastic. So check out the Red Lanterns. If you were not reading it during the Geoff Johns era, that's fine. Pick it up post Geoff Johns. Charles Soule's been doing a fantastic job with it, especially the introduction of Guy Gardner, the introduction of Supergirl as a Red Lantern as well is fantastic too. Batman may be the best known DC character, most famous, most popular at least, but he's not the first big one. The first big one is this guy right here, Superman. Superman number 33. Now, when the New 52 rolled around, the Superman books just did not interest me. I did not like the direction they were going in, so I didn't read any of them. And then about, I don't know, 8 issues ago, starting with Action Comics 25, Greg Pak took over and has been doing a really good job writing Action Comics. And then just recently, Geoff Johns and John Romita Jr. and Klaus Janson took over. Actually, the last issue, issue 32, was the first issue for them. Has taken over writing and drawing Superman, and it's been pretty good so far. Granted, it's only the second issue in the series, but wonderful cover by John Romita Jr. And your typical John Romita Jr. style artwork. Very recognizable. If you're a fan of comics, you can always tell when it's a John Romita Jr. artwork. And a pretty interesting story about another survivor from another planet. So some pretty interesting stuff going on. So check it out. The first issue I read of the Geoff Johns story was fantastic, and it's continuing with that. And it's also not connected to the Doomed storyline that is currently getting ready to wrap up in the Superman books. So if you haven't been following Doomed, it's fine. Just go ahead and pick up Superman. Your comic store might have the previous issue, so you can get caught up on the ground floor with the Geoff Johns run. Now, I mentioned this comic earlier. It is one of 2 weekly comics that DC is doing right now. It's Future's End, number 12. Takes place 5 years in the future, and is going to be playing a major role, I think, in the upcoming DC universe. It focuses a lot more on let's say the B teams. There's Hawkman, Frankenstein, Amethyst are in this issue. We've also had appearances of Red Robin. Batman Beyond is a major part of the storyline going on right now, even though I haven't seen him in a while. Some other really interesting characters as well. Ooh, the Joker making an appearance on this one as well. And some interesting things as well. But it was, as all the Firestorm's another good one. Mr. Miracle, Big Barda have appeared in this as well. So Grifter. So it's a whole bunch of minor characters as well. But takes a look into the future, 5 years in the future, has a major event going on that's going to play a major role, I think, in the future of the DC Universe. So it's probably best you check this out. All weekly books are written by a group of writers. This one's written by Brian Azzarello, Jeff Lemire, Dan Jurgens, Keith Giffen. This issue is penciled by Jesus Marino with inks by Dan Green. Now, every issue is going to be by different artists, or the same artist might do 1 or 2 issues, but doing a weekly book is kind of tough. So you might want to check out Future's End. Yes, it is a weekly, but it is going to play a major role in the future of DC, and we'll find out about how big of a role I believe next year when it concludes, along with the other weekly book, which we'll get into in a second. They every year also I guess it would be September, which was when the New 52 started. DC does some sort of month-long event to commemorate their New 52. Last year was 52 Villains Comics. The year before that, honestly, I think it was Year Zeros, I think was a couple years ago. Stuff like that. So it would just be a month-long, 52 issues of something different. This September we've got the 52 issues of 5 years in advance of the book. So you'll take a look at Batman in 5 years in the future, Superman 5 years in the future, Justice League 5 years in the future, that type of stuff, see what's going on and get an idea of where things are going to be heading. And it is going to be tied into Future's End. So check that out. It is Batman Day, and to commemorate the whole month, I guess it's Batman month as well, like they did last month with their bombshell covers. DC's released 2 covers, one the regular cover for the book, and then one a special variant cover with a theme. As I said, last month was the bombshell covers, where you had the female stars of these books in variant covers with in poses and in looks like they were in 1940s, 50s billboards and stuff like that, with slogans and stuff like that. So some pretty nice ones. Not all of them were good, but some were really nice. And sometimes just sort of, it's a nice idea, but you might not always want to pick one up. Well, this month they're doing a similar thing where every comic is going to have a Batman variant, where regardless if Batman's ever crossed paths with them, he'll show up on the cover of a variant of the book. So, and if he's in the book, like any of the Bat books and the Justice League or whatever, it'll be a special cover drawn by different people. Like I saw the Superman one, which I didn't get because I kind of like this one. The Superman cover 33 is drawn by Eric Larson, who hasn't done work for DC and Marvel in a while. He drew a cover of Batman and Superman together for Superman 33, so kind of interesting. I'm bringing all this up because Justice League Dark number 33 came out today, and I like Justice League Dark. It's your magic superheroes in the DC universe teamed up in a team. Deadman, Constantine, Zatanna, Black Orchid, stuff like that. And they did a Batman variant, which I actually liked a whole lot better than the actual cover. Regardless, this issue focuses on one of my favorite characters, Deadman. A little history. Let me show you the cover first. Here's Justice League Dark, number 33, with Batman and Deadman. What you need to know about this is it's drawn by Kelly Jones, who did the art. The cover was drawn by Kelly Jones. Kelly Jones did a run of Batman back in the late 90s with Doug Munch. And Kelly Jones also did a miniseries with Deadman. So they bring them back together, and I kind of liked it. So it's very creepy. Justice League Dark is just a great book. Swamp Thing's in it as well, but this issue seems to be focusing on Deadman. It's written by James DeMatteis, who's writes fantastic, has been a writer forever in comics, and is fantastic, especially with supernatural characters. He had a great run on the Spectre a few years back, well, not a few years, like in the 90s. So James DeMatteis is the writer. Andres Guinaldo is penciler, and Walden Wong and Raul Fernandez are the arts. Deadman is the feature character, who I absolutely adore, so it's fantastic to see him get his own storyline. And he's probably my second favorite character after Zatanna in this book, so it's good to see Deadman. And speaking of Zatanna, there she is with Swamp Thing. There's a splash page of the bad guy, but there's Zatanna right there, and there's Swamp Thing. So, if you like mystical superheroes, this is the book for you. They're actually rumored that Guillermo del Toro is either making a movie version of Justice League Dark or a TV version, not sure yet, but it'll be interesting to see. Constantine, the TV series, coming out this fall, so that might be something to be checked out, but I just love this cover. and this is the beginning of our Batman books. So I just love this cover. So Justice League Dark number 33. Picked this up where there was another cover that had Deadman on it also. I think it was written by, drawn by, I don't know actually. So we'll see. What was I going to say? Oh, real quick. These variant cover ideas, it's an interesting idea. Because you can choose if you'd rather get the variant or the regular cover, depending on which you find better. Might like both, but you have to choose, and that's kind of tough. But I don't know what they're doing. I guess September is going to be. I don't know what they're doing in August. September is going to be their Futures End one, so I don't know what they're going to be doing with that. But October is going to be a very interesting one, which is going to probably make me do maybe a lot more variants. October's Halloween, of course. Halloween's my favorite holiday, and they're going to be doing variant covers of the superheroes as some of the classic monsters. The one cover I saw was of Batman and Robin for that issue coming out in October, with Batman and Robin looking like the classic mummies, and it was drawn by Chris Burnham. I think it was fantastic looking. So there could be some really interesting ones to look at for that. So look out for that. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Batman. This is Batman Day, and we're starting our Batman tour now. There are a ton of Bat books out this week. First up is the weekly Batman Eternal. Gorgeous cover. I think that's Dustin Goyen did the cover on this one. Fantastic. Love this cover. And it's weekly, so you've got your your writing team of Scott Snyder, James Tynion IV, Ray Fawkes, John Layman, and Tim Seeley. You've also got the art by Dustin Goyen with inks by Derek Fridoles. And I want so much to spoil this ending, but a character long since gone and only made an appearance in an old miniseries from the past returns in this book, and it is amazing. And I've got to let my co-host, my Dylan Knows Comics co-host MJ Khan know about this return if he's read it yet, because it's one of his favorite characters, one of his favorite villains. So you need to probably check out Batman Eternal. It's got great artwork by Dustin Goyen. Maxie Zeus. I haven't seen him in a while, but there's Maxie Zeus right there for you. But this isn't a villain book. This is a Batman book, and we've got, let me see, and it's got Batman's family in it. So Batwing's in it, Red Robin's in it. Here's Red Robin. I think I saw Batgirl in there as well. Batwing is in it as well. He's the one who's taking on Maxie Zeus, so that's pretty interesting. And then Batman is in it also. I think he makes an appearance here at the bottom. And Joker's daughter's in it, and so on and so forth. So good artwork by Dustin Goyen. Good story. Once again, I haven't gotten caught up on it yet. I'm hoping that during my vacation I'll be able to get caught up on a few of these, especially this, because I thought it was a fantastic story before I got swept away by it. Batman Eternal is bringing the supernatural back to the Batman world, which is good, and it's also going to be ending around the same time as Future's End, sometime in March, April of next year, and they say there's going to be a major reason why it's ending, and it's going to intersect possibly with Future's End, and it's going to cause a major change in the DC Universe next spring. So you might want to get in on the ground floor with that. My comic store still has all the previous issues, so you might want to check your comic store. They might have it as well. Pick it up. Not every issue is going to have great art, but it might not be at your style, but it's a good story, and sometimes good stories outweighs the bad art. In this case, though, the art's fantastic. Dustin Goyen is fantastic, and a lot of interesting characters. Joker's daughter, Batwing, and the surprise villain at the end, which I cannot get into. I don't want to spoil for you. So, classic bad guy that not a lot of people know about, but is one of the best Batman villains that you might not have heard of. Moving on, continuing our examination of Batman Day, we've got Batman and Robin 33, which honestly is probably the best Batman book on the shelves today. This fantastic cover with the Justice League trying to stop him from going to Apocalypse to save Damian. and it's back to being called Batman and Robin. It had been being called different things up to a point. Now it looks like Robin will be making an appearance back in this soon. This is the Robin Rises storyline, so we'll see what happens with that. Peter Tomasi is writing the hell out of this book. Patrick Gleason is drawing the hell out of this book, and inker Mick Gray is inking the hell out of this book. It's fantastic. It's a great series, heart-wrenching story, just fantastic. Superman makes an appearance in this one, showing him the friendship that he has with Bruce. His Bat family is involved in this one as well, so that's pretty cool. And just a lot of really, really good stuff coming up. And this is such a great, just such a great comic, and I cannot highly recommend this enough. This is, in my opinion, the best Batman book on the shelves right now. So check out Batman and Robin. Number 33, new issues out today, starting the whole Robin Rises storyline. The Batman Robin Omega, which came out last week, I talked about last week, might still be out in your bookstores too. You might want to pick that up as well. Here's the, I guess the main reason why this is Batman Day, because Scott Snyder has finally ended his year-long, 0-year story. It's issue 33 of Batman. Greg Capullo is doing a really good job of the artwork. It's a double-sized book. It's got Batman taking on the Riddler for the life of Gotham. Takes place in, it's not Batman Year 1. It's the whole year was him, just jumping into being Batman and figuring out how to do things. It's divided into 2 halves. Technically more like 3 stories, I guess you could say. I'm not a big fan. I'll tell you, just the artwork is fantastic. It's gorgeous. Capullo's doing a great job. Danny Mickey doing the inks is fantastic. And it's hard to say. Scott Snyder is a good writer. He took over Detective Comics before the New 52, and it was when Batman was still missing and Dick Grayson was Batman, and he wrote a hell of a story with artwork by Jock and Francavilla. It was a great story. And then when the New 52 started and they said that Snyder was going to take over as the writer of the Batman title, not Detective, with Bruce Wayne, I thought, okay, that'd be kind of cool to see it. And then Greg Capullo's doing artwork, which is fantastic. It's good artwork. I thought, okay, this will be good. Snyder and Capullo's first storyline was the Court of Owls. That was a good storyline. And then the Night of the Owls was another really good storyline. And then there was a little one issue break, which was a good storyline. And then he did Death of the Family, where he brought in Joker. Now, as I said before, I think Joker is one of the overused, overrated villains in the DC universe, and every Bat writer wants to come in and write a Joker story. This Joker story was okay, but it's where Scott Snyder started to lose me a little bit. It wasn't as good as some of the other stuff, and I thought, okay, everyone's so entitled to have, a down thing. It was still good, don't get me wrong. Greg Capullo's artwork was so great. And then he decided he wanted to do this 0-year story and go back to the beginning, which I thought, okay, this could be interesting. Well, the first part of it is about the creation of the Joker. Okay. And also, it was about a hurricane bearing down on Gotham's blackout, and then the aftermath of that, when the Riddler took over Gotham City for a year. It reminded me of No Man's Land, like they were doing their version of No Man's Land in the New 52, and it really didn't work for me. I didn't like the way they wrote the Riddler, because the Riddler's one of my favorite villains. I just didn't like the storyline that much, so 0 Year sort of left me kind of cold. but I'm going to read it, and hopefully, the next storyline will be better. We'll see. But the artwork is still gorgeous, and Scott Snyder's still a good writer, so we'll see about that. Now, because I bought this, and because it is Batman Day, I guess this is all comic stores are doing this. My comic store gave me a free Detective Comics 27, which was just like a special edition collection. Has a Capullo cover, and it includes the original first issue of Batman in Detective 27, and then they did from the New 52's Detective 27, Brad Metzler and Brian Hitch's retelling of the first Batman story. And then they brought Scott Snyder in with Sean Phillips in a pretty good, or Sean Murphy, I should say, excuse me, a pretty good future Batman story, which was really good in the Detective 27 story. I really liked it. And then there's a little homage to Detective 27. So if you're lucky enough to pick up, I guess, this book maybe, or any Batman book, I'm not exactly sure how it worked, but you may get a free Detective 27. So that's just more for fun. I've read all those stories before, so it's just kind of nice to get a free one. So I talked almost a half hour just about DC. Try to move it along. There's not a lot left because there wasn't a lot of stuff, and plus I can save some money for vacation. There's a bunch of books I didn't get, which I'll talk about in a second, but we'll run through this. Marvel, there's only 3 books I got this week, and then Independent, there's only 3 books I got this week, so we'll breeze through these in no time. Marvel's been doing a really good job of new series, bringing out new series. There's a little too many, I think, and there's some I don't think you need to have, but they wanted to, I guess, throw it out there and see what stuck, and there was some good stuff out there, and there's some pretty bad stuff out there. But, Daredevil's been pretty good. Amazing Spider-Man's reboot was pretty good. Magneto, Elektra, Silver Surfer, Nightcrawler, Rocket Raccoon, they were all pretty good. Then you had the ones that were just Cyclops, Star-Lord. Ones you're sort of like, Star-Lord. I understand why, because Guardians of the Galaxy is coming out, but can he really do a whole book himself? Well, they have another new #1 out today, but this one I haven't read it yet, but I'm going to put it strongly in. I think it's going to be in the Nightcrawler, Rocket Raccoon, Elektra, Daredevil, great Magneto, great storyline. It's written by Greg Pak with art by, I'll get his name again properly, Victor Ibanez. Storm, #1. Storm is a great character, a great strong female character. I love Storm. I think she's fantastic. I think she was woefully miscast in the X-Men movies. I don't think Halle Berry had the gravitas, as it were, to be Storm. I think Angela Bassett probably would have been better, but I digress. Storm #1, Greg Pak, Victor Ibanez. It's Storm. It's fantastic stuff. She's from Africa, so they gave you a chance to do some African stories, and at the same time, meaning current event stuff. There's a lot of bad stuff going on over there right now. Beast makes an appearance in this as well. Here's Storm is considered to be a goddess in Africa, and here's people who are happy to see her come back and help clean up. Storm is such a great character, strong, really good, strong female character, and I highly recommend you check it out. It's added to the list of some really great female superheroes that Marvel's been coming out. Other ones I forgot to mention in the list is She-Hulk, which is great. Charles Soule's doing a good job writing that. Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, Black Widow, Storm now is added to that total. Those are all really good, strong, female character-oriented #1s that are on there. Women are the fastest rising people interested in comics, and it's great to see that because it's helping the industry to grow. and continue. And there ain't done. There's a lot more female-friendly books coming up in the future. Some of them look really, really good. Like the updated Batgirl is going to be interesting to see. So we'll see. But now we're talking Marvel. That's Storm number 1. The only other 2 that I got this week, it's the obligatory crossover with the summer crossover, Original Sin. First up's Amazing Spider-Man number 4, Original Sin version. Dan Slott, Humberto Ramos. It has a connection to the Original Sin storyline. If you're a good writer, you don't have to have been reading Original Sin to follow it around, to understand it. However, it is also appears to be setting the groundwork for Dan Slott's fantastic Spider-Verse crossover. It's coming up later this year with the introduction of a new female Spider character, drawn gorgeously by Humberto Ramos. Silk is this character's name, so fantastic. And she's going to play probably a big part in the upcoming Spider-Verse storyline, and that's the one crossover I'm actually really excited for. Say what you will, but I think Humberto Ramos does a pretty good job doing the artwork for Spider-Man, and Dan Slott's been doing a pretty good job with it as well. So this is just leading up to the Spider-Verse storyline, which I'm really, really, really excited for. The other Marvel comic I got this week is Daredevil number 6, also crossover with Original Sin. Gorgeous cover by Chris Samney, written by Mark Waid with art by the aforementioned Chris Samney. And Mark Waid is doing a really good job writing Daredevil. Daredevil is going to be a hit next year with the Netflix TV series that is currently filming right now. So you might want to start picking up these issues of Daredevil now and read them, not only because of that, but because they are very well written and fantastic. So that's it for my Marvels. Independence. I talked about Francisco Francavilla earlier when he was doing some of the artwork on Scott Snyder's first Batman work, the Detective Comics. Well, he's also doing Afterlife with Archie. Now, last week we did Life with Archie number 36, where the adult Archie gets shot and killed. Issue 37 came out today. I didn't buy that one because I didn't have the money for it, which is the final issue of that series, which is a look back at Archie's career. I might go back and pick that up as well. But Roberto Aguirre Sacasa and Francesco Francavilla are doing their version of like The Walking Dead, but with the Archie characters. So it's a completely different, much like Life with Archie is, it's a completely different Archie comic. It's more adult, I guess, more horror-oriented, Afterlife with Archie number 6. It is fantastic. That's Sabrina. Remember from the TV show Sabrina with Melissa Joan Hart. Well, that's her character. She is an Archie character. Looks like we're going to be getting back to the Archie storyline, but the first 5 issues of Afterlife with Archie were fantastic. Gorgeous artwork, very moody, fantastic. We're going to find out what's going on with Sabrina. The basic premise you need to know about Afterlife with Archie is one of Archie's nemesis or friend, Reggie, kills Jughead's dog, best friend dog, Hot Dog, in a car accident, or hits him with a car and then drives away. Jughead is, of course, his best friend, so he's saddened, so he talks Sabrina into bringing him back to life, and Sabrina does, but ends up, making a spell that turns Hot Dog into a zombie, and then he bites Jughead. Jughead becomes a zombie, and so on and so forth. But her aunts, Sabrina's aunts, say because you did this, we're going to banish you for a year to an alternate dimension. This is Robert Aguirre Sacasa's and Francesco Francavilla's chance to do Cthulhu. So if you don't know who Cthulhu is, you might want to check this out. So we're going to find out what's going on with Sabrina, and then we'll get back to Archie surviving in the zombie apocalypse. It's a good series. It's fun. It's not your typical Archie series. Great artwork, a bit more mature, but still keeps the general same scenario. Betty, Veronica are always fighting to get Archie's attention. Then all the other characters come in and they're all the same, basically, but they're more realistic looking than cartoony. So, Afterlife of Archie number 6. I just recently, last December, I guess you could say, is when it started, and then back in, I guess, May is when things really started rolling. Got into Doctor Who, my wife and I, and the Doctor Who license, I believe, was IDW owned the license to it. I think they still do. But apparently Titan Comics, which is a comic company over in England, also has the rights to do Doctor Who comics. So they have created 2 new comics, one focusing on the 10th Doctor, who was played by David Tennant in the TV series, and one playing the 11th Doctor, who is Matt Smith in the TV series. So there were 2 number 1s came out this week. I've only got the David Tennant one because I haven't got caught up with the Matt Smith stuff yet. So Doctor Who 10th Doctor number 1 came out this week, David Tennant. And here's just the cover of the Matt Smith one. So there is a Matt Smith one came out today as well. This is done by Titan Comics. What's neat about this is, besides it being the Further Adventures of Doctor Who, fans of the TV show will recognize him and his stuff. Let's see, who wrote it and who wrote it? There we go. Written by Nick Abadizes with artist Elena Casagrande. So it looks kind of like Tennant, but if you're a Doctor Who fan, you should probably, you'll probably like it, and they probably have a really good take on the character. Now, what was really neat about this book is that your local comic stores, if they wanted to, they could get their store on a special variant cover. My store did. I didn't know this until at the register. If I would have known earlier, I probably would have picked it up. But it's great. There's a new cover. There's a variant cover for this one that has the exterior of the store, and in the big display window is the Cyberman, while David Tennant's Doctor is there. And then the Matt Smith one, the same exact building with the name of the comic store on it, but instead of Cyberman, it's a Weeping Angel, and it's Matt Smith. So if you're a Doctor Who fan, you might want to pick this up. This is the Tennant. This is Doctor Who, the 10th Doctor, number 1. Doctor the 11th Doctor, number 1 is also on sale, so if you're a Matt Smith fan, pick that up. They both came out at the same time. Finally, Walter Simonson is a name a lot of comic fans know. He did probably one of the definitive runs in comics with his Thor. He's done, Fantastic Four and a bunch of other things as well. And it's just sort of been, off on his own. Did some Hulk recently, stuff like that. But he's just sort of, been doing his own thing. He's old. He's been around since the '80s. Well, he decided to do a creative-owned book that kind of brings back Thor a little bit, but in a different way. It's more of a fantasy version of the Norse gods. This is from IDW. This is Ragnarok number 1. I really liked it. I really like Walter Simonson's artwork. I always have. And the fact that it's more of a fantasy book, and it's good to see, Walt using his own characters. He's really good at, drawing armor and movement and weapons and creating interesting characters. He is a good writer in his own right as well. You can't forget John Workman's lettering, which is always there with him. But I'm really excited to read this. It looks like Walt Simonson's going to get a chance to just really play around with fantasy, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. So that's Ragnarok number 1. That is my haul for this week. As I said, I didn't get everything I wanted to because I was a little low on funds, but some other stuff that came out. Warren Ellis's Trees, number 3 came out. I might pick that up in a couple weeks when I get back, or maybe back again on Friday. We'll see. G.I. Zombie, number 1.
written by Jimmy Palmiotti and Justin Gray. I don't know who did the art. Scott Hampton, I think, or Bo Hampton. It was pretty nice looking artwork. Wanted to pick that up, but I couldn't do that as well. The one thing that kind of upset me a little bit was my store did not have Conan versus Gru #1. They must have only bought a few issues and sold out very quickly, so I'll have to find that somewhere. Maybe they'll get maybe they'll reorder it, but we'll see. But I want to check that out as well. Was there anything else that I wasn't going to buy? I was going to buy, but I didn't. No, those are the ones I can think of off the top of my head. So I'm going to go my regular spiel real quick, and then I'm going to let you go. Comics are for everyone. They're not just for guys and boys anymore. They're for children, both boys and girls. They're for men and women, especially women who are becoming a fast-rising fandom in comics. So check out your comic store. If you don't know if you have one nearby, if you like comics, if you like the comic book movies and are interested to find out what's going on, you like what I showed you, just go to your search engine, type in CSLS, or the Comic Shop Locator Service. It'll take you to the website. Type in your zip code, and you will find all the comic stores within about 30 to 50 miles of where you are. So you can find which one you like if you want to, and just check it out. Comic stores have come a long way since the 80s. Nowadays, they're clean, bright, well-lit. They're run by professionals. And there's all types of people in there, and there's not just comics. There's books, there's trades, there's toys, there's baseball cards, there's T-shirts, there's posters. There's stuff for all ages in there. There's grown-up stuff. There's kids stuff. There's kids comics. There's grown-up comics. There's not just superhero comics. There's spy comics. There's drama comics, romance comics, all kinds of comics out there. There's every genre you can think of, there's probably a comic out there for it. Licensing, like I said, Doctor Who was on there. And I just found out today that Orphan Black is going to have a comic coming out soon. Sleepy Hollow is as well. So TV shows are a big deal as well. So go to your comic store this weekend. Just check it out. Most times, most stores will probably have sales going on this weekend. I think mine's got as usual, their usual one is 50% off the trade paperbacks, which is a good deal. If you want to get caught up on a comic, you can see the trade. You get 12 issues for the price of one book, $12.95. You can get 12 issues of a comic. 2 trades, well, yeah, which would normally cost you close to $25. So you never know what you could find. You never know what you could find until you find out. Comics are a big deal. They can help you learn to read. They help me learn to read. Some of the artwork is really pretty, gorgeous, great storylines, great characters you know and love. So go to your comic store. So what's coming up? I was going to say something, but I forgot what I was going to say. But just keep an eye out. Guardians of the Galaxy will be coming out on August 1st. So that's a new Marvel movie. So if you're interested in seeing that, go ahead and check that out. I forget what I was going to say. Oh, San Diego Comic-Con. Fans of comics are convening. Lots of creators, stuff like that, are convening in San Diego for the biggest comic convention in the comic world. This is their Christmas, their Super Bowl for the most part, as it were. 4 straight days, technically 5 days of just information overload. You'll be hearing about all the upcoming stuff in comics, comic movies, genre movies as well. So you're going to be hearing a lot of information, getting a lot of really neat stuff, getting pictures of artwork and new covers for new books coming up, ideas of what's going to be coming up in DC in the next year, Marvel next year, maybe some look at the Spider-Verse sagas coming up, and look at the upcoming Avengers 2 movie and the Batman v Superman movie as well, all kinds of neat stuff. So keep your eyes peeled on your Twitter feed, your Facebook feed, Google+. There'll probably be lots of information and news. Image has already announced a whole slew of really new and interesting books coming out in the next year or so, and some of them are really, really interesting sounding. So go ahead and check those out. As I said, more than likely I will not be having a show next week since I will be on vacation down at Virginia Beach. If I can find a comic store down there, I may or may not pick up comics and do a impromptu comic call next week. It depends. It also depends on the Wi-Fi in the beach house I will be at and what's going on at the beach house where I'm at. So we'll see. More than likely, I would say it is a 5th week, so there's probably not going to be a lot of comics coming out anyway. So we'll see how things go. Also, my Sunday show, Dylan Knows, you really should check that out. I'm in the mid 40s. I've done about close to 45, 46 episodes. Check it out on my YouTube page. You can check out any previous comic calls on my YouTube page as well, Dylan Lang. Type that into the Google search and look for Dylan Knows and Comic Call and check those out. Every Sunday I do a new Dylan Knows show. So this Sunday, even though I will be on vacation, if we have good Wi-Fi, I will be doing my Dylan Knows International show. I'm still trying to get the guest list together, but Tate Bronwyn will be there, and Mandy might be there, and Brianne might be there, and who knows who else might be there. So just keep an eye on my Twitter feed at Holidill for any upcoming news on Dylan Knows, Comic Call, whatever. 2 days to vacation for me, and I am so excited. So I'm going to leave you now. Thanks for watching, and go to the comic store, buy some comics. There's some good stuff out this week. The Comic Call. And happy Batman Day. Blah.